so much for joining us this morning. We're taking a deep dive into mental health with top experts and also Lady Gaga in our next hour. But you're focused on your constituents and those who were already in especially vulnerable situations. Tell us what you hear is going on and what can be done.
Well, good morning, Mika. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm happy to see that you're safe and healthy, and hope everyone out there is staying safe and as healthy as possible. And thank you for this focus on mental health. You know, this is a really challenging time for all of us, and we are dealing with healthcare challenges, with economic challenges, a lot of stressors that are occurring right now all around us. Add to that we're having to be isolated. You know, at a time when you're dealing with a lot of stress, you want to depend on people. You want to be with people. Well, we can't do that. So that adds to the stress and the isolation and the loneliness. Already 1 in 5 Americans suffer from mental health issues. Well, these stressors are creating added concern for many of us who are looking out for that particular community. Now, you add to that victims of abuse, either child abuse, sexual abuse, domestic abuse, elder abuse, animal abuse as well is included in that category. But you put a victim in a house isolated with her abuser. This is also a very dangerous time for people who are victims of abuse. And yesterday, I had a great call with community advocates to talk through what we can do better as a community in order to make sure that we are protecting those very vulnerable populations. The key, I think, and I bet this is true in every community across the country, the key is making sure that victims know that the vast majority of these service providers, the folks who are taking care of victims, they're open. They're just operating in a different way. They're operating using telehealth operations, but we need people to continue to reach out. In El Paso, we saw a decline in protective orders in the month of March. Mm-hmm. And we know that's because our county courthouse had to close because of the coronavirus, and people, mostly women, were trapped and didn't know how to get to a lawyer, didn't know how to get to court to get a protective order. We know that there's been a 35% increase across the country in 911 calls for victims of abuse. So this is a really especially difficult time, not just the economy, not just health, but domestic abuse as well.
Congresswoman Casey Hunt has a question for you. Casey?
Congresswoman, thank you for your focus on this. We're certainly thinking about all the people who are facing those challenges. I'm hoping that you could give us a broad view of the challenges facing the businesses and people working in your district. Congress is arguing right now over how to reauthorize or add money to the Paycheck Protection Program. The administration wants another $250 billion. What are you hearing from businesses in El Paso? Are they able to get these loans? Is the program working for them? Are these big, powerful businesses? Are they small mom and pop shops? What are you seeing play out on the ground where you are?
Thanks, Casey. What I'm hearing kind of runs the gamut. We had a small business specific telephone town hall last week. And I'm still hearing from small businesses nearly every day, many of whom have applied for the funds but have yet to receive them. So, and I've heard this among my colleagues across the country as well, that the money has been very slow in coming. And so many of our small business owners are really at a desperate point where some are considering, should I even take the money? I've heard from some small businesses, should I even take the money? It's so late in coming. Should I just consider bankruptcy and just shutting down completely? So folks are really at their wits' end. Congress has asked for data from the administration about the money, Even some of our committee chairs have not received the data that we'd like to see from the administration about this. We all know that small businesses are the backbone of our local economies. We've got to get them the lifeline of funds that they need. And I and everybody in the caucus supports more money for small businesses. But we also know that our hospitals are struggling, our local governments are struggling, our families are struggling. I don't quite understand the fixation by the Senate and by the White House on such a narrow line of support for just one group when our effort is to help as many Americans as possible, including small businesses. But not only do we need to provide that money, we've got to understand why it's taking so long to get that money out.
Congresswoman Veronica Escobar, thank you so much. Please stay in touch. Thank you for being on today.
Thank you.